Hi, friends. Coming to you live from the heavy weighted blanket studios.
From the RadioU studios, we were...
Did you see how long I had to stretch? That's got to be the blanket, right?
I think it is. Your muscles are just like, oh my gosh.
How do my eyes look?
They look rested.
Do they really?
They actually do. They're not blood. I mean, you don't come in with like red eyes all the time, but normally the eyes are a window into your soul and how we're not getting enough sleep and all that stuff, and they look awake.
I do have to admit, I skipped the gym this morning, too.
Yeah, I didn't see you there.
Skipped it. I was like, I decided last night when I went to bed, I'm going to get some more sleep.
Sure.
Now I packed a gym bag so I can go later.
You can go later. If not, maybe the whole key was you just weren't getting enough sleep, and now you don't need the gym. It'll take care of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the weight's just melting off.
Just water and sleep.
Just melting off. You just wouldn't believe it.
We were not in yesterday. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful Monday, and for some who got the day off, but we've got a new podcast for you today.
Yeah. Today in the show, we talk about how hard it is to be royal because we have I feel like a great example that's not Harry and Meghan. It's tough out there.
There's another royal couple that has it just as hard.
I mean, maybe harder, honestly. And then we also talk about how what we really want in life is to just be treated like an obese cat.
That's my favorite. We'll hear about the cat Bazooka and how it really resonates with someone in this room.
I feel like it might have resonated with both of us. I was just the first one to speak up.
You're the one who mentioned it. I never thought of it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
We're all just looking for some love and some free gyms.
Other things in the podcast include Disney and was there anything else? I haven't done the list yet.
It's a surprise for everybody, okay?
Yeah. So enjoy the podcast today. I'm going to go fill this thing up with water so I can drink more water.
Because remember, sleep and
water, Nikki.
Water is the two big things.
That's right.
Don't forget to text us, 877-2-RADIO-U. Let us know your name and where you listen to the podcast from. And if you find anything you want us to cover in the podcast, send us the link to the story.
All right. Everybody
Enjoy
good?
the day. Bye-bye.
Worst of the riot. RadioU.
You know, one of the things I did this weekend was get caught up on a bunch of really old movies.
Sounds about right. Sleeping in old movies.
Isn't that stupid?
You're acting like an old man.
I have a stack of brand new stuff to watch, like some of which I haven't even seen. And I went to it, and then I somehow ended up I watched Run Silent, Run Deep, which I finished it, which was like 1957, I think.
Black and white submarine movie.
Submarine movie. Cary Grant, Burt Lancaster, and a ton of people that you would, if you watch a lot of movies, you would be like, oh, that person, that person. They're so young, you almost don't recognize them, but you would probably recognize them. And then, and you'll love this, Nikki, I watched, I believe this was 1955. Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief.
Yeah.
Which was, what's that guy's name? Grace Kelly, and Grace Kelly's the girl.
Yeah.
And then the guy's name is Cary Grant.
Okay.
It was fantastic.
Good.
Dialogue that you don't get anymore. That was probably the thing that I liked about it the most, is just the dialogue was very complex. It was witty, and it was delivered in a way that we don't deliver dialogue in film anymore. Yeah.
Obi was talking last week because he likes to watch older movies sometimes. And at first you're like, oh, it's in black and white. Why do you want to watch that? But it comes across as nowadays, every so often you'll get one done in an artistic way.
Right.
And it feels like a filter. So your mind's not like going, well, this is wrong.
It's just interesting. I don't know. I like movies, and especially watching some of this older stuff. One, you can see that a lot of the things you think are new, man, they've been doing that the whole time.
Oh, it's been an effect, or it's been a thing.
You're like, oh, that's amazing. And it's like, oh, it's
been around for a while.
It's just kind of a ripoff, actually. Like, dang it.
I forget where I saw it, but I thought it would be a good gift for you, but it's a big, giant poster.
Yeah.
And it's got, like, the 100 top movies of forever.
Oh, all time or
and
whatever.
Then you go through and you scratch them off, or you lift up the sticker and stuff. So you go through and you have to, like, watch all the movies.
That's interesting.
And it seemed like a fun thing because, again, it covers a lot of older ones.
Yeah. Well, it's been interesting. And I did this last year. I went there for, like, a month month or two where I just went through and watched a bunch of old movies, and they are there. Like nobody wants them. But if you go on, like I'm an Amazon Prime Video member and I'm a Netflix member, and so
you can find them somewhere.
Yeah, they're buried. They won't suggest them to you. But if you go and look,
they're free to stream.
Yeah, but it was really interesting to look at. You know, To Catch a Thief. It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie, and it was restored. So I mean, it was beautiful. And the colors look kind of oversaturated, but that's what movies looked like in color then. So and again, just looks like an Instagram filter. That's
all it looks like.
It's pretty much what it looks like.
So we are currently in the phase again now where we're watching older movies.
I think so.
We're back into that.
I think so. Though, I mean, at this point,
anything's up for watching.
I have a docket that's probably 20 movies long, and I keep not. You know what? It's just like my Netflix queue, except it's a physical queue. I have a stack of movies, and I'm like, I'll watch something else.
Uncomfortable silences during that morning carpool? Not a problem. These two never shut up. It's the Riot on Radio U.
So we are, it's less than 2 weeks out, I guess, from the Super Bowl. And remember, whether you care or not, you're really supposed to care
about the commercials, the game. You're supposed to really care about the halftime show. They're going to really push that one at you.
All of it.
So if you care about one part of it or all of it, it is almost here.
Yeah. And so thus begins and Nikki and I will be guilty as well of us discussing all of the commercials.
Yeah, I don't mind that as much because I appreciate that you can get them online before the game.
Right.
So you can see what, you can expect to watch.
So it appears that Snickers and I mean the candy company, the Snickers bar, they are going to be unveiling their Guinness World Record candy bar.
Did you see how big it is?
4,728 pounds.
We had a few listeners send us a link with a story over the weekend. It's impressive looking.
1,200 pounds of caramel, 3,500 pounds of chocolate. So
looks good.
This new ad will mark 10 years since the iconic game spot that launched the "You're Not You When You're Hungry" campaign. I don't remember that.
Do you remember?
Because
the commercials.
It had. Okay, but I don't think it was 10 years ago because the one had.
It's always the ones where they're like, "Are you hungry? Here, have a Snickers."
Right. Okay.
So it's the start of those series.
Okay, so that was 10 years ago. Well, now they've got. Wow! Look at that candy bar. You have to see it to believe it.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like
it's big.
Wow, it's crazy. Like when you see people standing next to it, like just a picture of it, it's not enough. You got to have people for scale.
I didn't catch. Do they like sometimes with the Guinness records when they make something so big, it's like at a festival and then they pass it out for free.
Yeah.
Did it go anywhere or did people get to eat it? Or do they melt it down or they throw it away or what happened to the big Snickers bar?
I don't know. They say it'll be featured in a new commercial spot that'll air during the Super Bowl. I don't
Is it going to the Super Bowl?
Probably.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Don't just throw it away.
Well, the other thing, I was going to say, would you even want some? But the answer is, of course you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm like, would it be fresh? But
it's not like...
what do you think the Snickers bar you're eating just came right out of the oven or whatever?
You're right. I think there's some time that it sits on the shelves. It's made that way, but it's not like there's a Ziploc baggie you can put this big Snickers in.
Yeah, and I wonder, man, in order for you to get an actual cross section of it, I don't know.
You got to cut in.
You
don't want the end on this one.
You'd have to have a really big knife for you to cut in.
So if you like that sort of stuff, I would Google it. It's fun to see the big Snickers bar, but it will be in the commercial.
It's crazy huge.
Good. Crazy good.
I'll have some. You told me that the white Snickers, which I still haven't had.
Those are really good.
I need to get a hold of that. I need to stop in somewhere and get a white chocolate Snickers.
You're listening to the worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Did you know that in the United States, since 2007, so that's 13 years, the tattoo industry's revenue has almost doubled? In 2007, the reported industry, gross profits, $1.6 billion in the United States. Last year, so I guess 2019, $3 billion.
So it's going up. Mm-hmm. More people are getting ink done.
They say that they can point to directly to one thing. What do you think it is?
Was it a TV show at that time or like a movie?
No.
Someone famous get something done?
Social media.
Social media?
Because you get a tattoo and you've got a place to show it off.
You post about it. When you post about it, that encourages others to go get it.
So that according to, now this is just a survey, but tattoo artists say that somewhere between 70 and 90% of their customers come to them because of their Instagram accounts.
So if you do any art, you need to be like, hey, are you going to post this? Because you need to.
If you're not on Instagram.
You need to post your work.
You really need to. And if you get some really bad art done, you really should Instagram it and warn others away. Because, man, I'll tell you, I'll never in my life forget AJ's tattoo in which we
had an old DJ.
We did. And he came in and he was like, he didn't want to show it to me. And then he finally showed it to me. And he described to me what it was supposed to be. Couldn't get it. And then when
Wasn't it like an angel of whatever?
It was an angel.
Like a statue?
Cutting off a demoness's head. And that was the one where I was like, oh, what? It's like a female
light.
A female demon was getting its head cut off by an angel.
That was on his arm.
Yeah, he explained it to me. Like, he told me what it was twice. And then once he explained it to me, it was like, oh, I see it now. I see it now.
But it did not turn out quite the way that he wanted it to.
He got a deal on it. And so, as a result...
Didn't he just cover it?
I don't know.
I thought he covered it all.
He was going to. He was just going to get, a big block
of ink
on top of it. I don't remember what he ended up doing. I just know that it was one of those moments where I was like, this is one of the greatest cautionary tales in the history of my life.
Yeah, cautionary against whoever did his work. They weren't skilled enough at that point.
Well, and he said it was
a sale.
It was a discount.
Yeah.
You got a discount on it. So there it is. Ink. It's not just your imagination. It is more popular in the United States than it ever has been. But it's amazing to me that it has almost doubled in just over 10 years.
And they can absolutely say that is because of social media.
Social media. People get a tattoo. They want people to see their tattoo. I'm impressed.
Then you want to go get a tattoo and then you want to show other people it.
No, I'm good.
Then it keeps going and going and going.
That's why I bought my Porsche.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Now listen, I have something that I need help with that none of you care about.
Are you still going to ask away?
Okay, here's
the
thing is though, like, don't you sometimes help friends with things that, it's not important to you, but because it's important to them, you help them.
If you can, absolutely.
Okay, remember, let's forget about the specifics for a minute. This is a question you've had about other things, okay? And this just happens to be the thing that I have the question about. And so you've probably been there too, okay? Now, this Thursday, Star Trek Picard is coming to CBS All Access. I have, after years of mocking CBS All Access, I have signed up for it.
You wouldn't even do that for the Discovery show because I think you had like a free trial. But in this case, you're on board the ship.
That's right.
And you're paying.
That's right. I am. And I've got friends coming over Thursday night. Here's the thing. For
Picard.
a Picard. Well, it was going to be Picard and pancakes. But at this point, I've had to move it later into the evening because nobody can
snack on pancakes.
Can you?
Absolutely.
Man,
it's about the experience of it.
I feel like once you get past like 6 o'clock.
Oh, it'll be fine. It'll help everybody sleep.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Also true.
So you're doing a party on Thursday for Picard.
Yeah. So everybody wants to know, well, what time does it start? And I don't know. Because they say the episode comes out this Thursday, but they haven't said when.
It should be when you wake up on Thursday.
You think so?
Yeah, traditionally when streaming services do that, when they say the day, technically it's like whatever midnight Pacific time is that morning.
Okay.
You should be fine.
Yeah. Now, I invited a bunch of people. Only a couple of people are coming. And I told them, everybody else is next time I'll pick something that is more of a crowd pleaser.
Are you guys just watching one episode?
Well, I think there's only one episode that...
I didn't know if they're going to dump them all or each week.
Fairly certain that they are just dropping one a week.
They want you guys to savor it.
Well, because CBS All Access has so little that anyone could possibly care about.
Because you could have watched all of them by like the weekend and then dropped it.
Oh, yeah. No, I can tell you right now, unless it's terrible, which it could be. Like, we don't know. I would probably, I usually space things out, but dude, I would probably burn all the way through that.
How many episodes is it going to be?
It's going to be 10 episodes.
10
They've
episodes.
already announced they're doing a second season.
Oh, boy.
Because, again, they have nothing, so they need something.
Well, that'd be fun. I know you're looking forward to it, and we will just say that I'm sure it'll be great.
Well, the thing I need help with is that if anybody could go ahead and check and see if they could find a time. Like, is it going to release at midnight Eastern on Thursday?
You want everybody to do the work to find out?
Yeah, because I can't find it. And I'm usually pretty good at this whole Google it and get your answer.
Can't you log in? Does it not say, like, I've never seen CBS All Access's, like, menu screen and stuff, but does it just say coming Thursday? Does it have a time?
It does.
Can you check out CBS All Access's Facebook page?
CBS All Access.
Maybe someone's asked it there.
Nikki, this is why I asked everybody, because there are people like you. It didn't occur to me to check the CBS All Access Facebook page.
Is there a Picard Reddit forum? I'm sure.
There's definitely a Picard banner.
There it is. So it'll say, just go through the comment section. Someone must find it there.
John Luke is back. Star Trek this Thursday. That's all it says. This Thursday.
Check in the comments.
Can I get a time?
Just want to know, because you got to plan the party.
Hey, man, because listen, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Got to know when the pancakes need to be ready.
KB.
So if you know anything, you just text us at 877-2-RADIO-U or call OB.
Here you go. The first question. Is it going to freeze up, stop streaming mid-episode, not let me go back to where I was in the episode and do that several times per episode? Because that's what it does on the other episodes.
So someone is excited, it seems like. Yeah! Boy, you're going to have a great party.
The internet brings the positivity, right?
It does.
They really do.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the Riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
We're hitting that time of year where your thoughts are turning to love. Oh.
All the Valentine stuff in the stores. Everything's out, ready to go.
We're like 3 weeks from Valentine's Day. You gotta hang with it for just long enough to have somebody so you're not alone, and then you dump them.
No, that's not the plan.
It was always the plan.
It's not always the plan. And I know some people do the dumping ahead of time, so you don't have to go through Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, you don't want to pay for anything. That also is not the plan.
I like the sound of that.
Those are wrong.
What, you just go ahead and you chuck them?
No, you don't.
You know what?
But if you're not meant to be, then you need to cut that as easy or earlier as possible. You need to be nice about it.
Wait, so you're saying break up now?
Yeah.
So that way it doesn't seem like you're just trying to get out of Valentine's Day.
Don't wait too close to Valentine's Day. You need to be honest with everybody.
All right. Well, we're talking about this because NECO, and that is short for the New England Candy Company, they did not make candy hearts last year. The conversation hearts.
They could not get enough made in time because the year before, it was big news. The plant had to close down, and then they got sold to the company that makes Dum Dum Suckers.
Dum Dums.
You know those? So they were going to put them back in production, but it was too time. Yeah, between that. And so they are going to be in a limited run this Valentine's season.
So here's what it means. If you see the candy hearts, you better nab them fast.
There was generic ones. I mean, there were still candy hearts, but if you want the official ones from them, those will be back. They say because it's limited, they had to move like the machine that actually made them. That the limited amount, it'll be mostly at larger chain locations.
Okay.
You'll find them there, but not at smaller places.
Nikki is right. You can get your own generic chalk heart, which you can find just about anywhere.
That's never been gone. There's always someone making it.
NECO wafers are gross. That was back in the day when they were living on mud, and that was all there was. And then someone came along and they were like, well, instead of mud, we have this paper. And they were like, Oh, it's so good. Oh, I've never had anything this delicious.
I think they took chalk from like school and then just flavored it. And they're like, here you go. Here's a new candy treat.
We've discovered a way to take chalk dust and make it semi-edible.
We can reuse it. They were so into reusing things.
This is amazing.
So that's a no on the Necco
This is
ones?
the only time during the entire year I received sugar. I got one Necco wafer in my sock at the end of my bed for Christmas.
That's all they had back then.
And now they're like, we have chemically engineered sugar in the water we drink so that we're tasting sweetness all the time.
Well, it's like
so who needs your chalk?
There are some like throwback candies, and I think people who are fans are just like the conversation parts of the heart, but they're not actually liking the flavor of it.
Yeah. I mean, this is from the guy that watched movies from the 50s this weekend.
Yeah,
so
what are you talking about?
Maybe I should shut up now.
People like classic candy. People like classic movies.
Yeah, well, Nikki, I like my conversation hearts like I like my women.
What?
So sweet I can barely stand them.
Is that it? These are not sweet enough.
It's not sweet enough, sweetheart.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
Here I am once again getting wonderful wisdom from the people at cracked.com. I don't understand how this happens. It just does.
You have a connection, and it's been recent.
Almost every day. It actually isn't. I've just started talking about it. I've read it every day for years. But I'm going through this article of like, I don't know, what's it, like 15 things that the socially awkward people in the world need to know?
Yeah.
Which is a great article for the internet because, let's face it, many of us socially awkward people find our way there. Here's their number 4 on the list that I feel like is so good. Pop culture is a horrible teacher. And so it discusses how if you learn how to interact with people by watching TV, YouTube, internet, whatever, like a sitcom, it's bad because the conversation in a sitcom is meant to be entertaining to listen to, but not participate in.
Oh, so you're going to learn wrong.
So they're saying that on a sitcom, a zinger or something that belittles somebody is a lot of fun to watch. But if that's how you learn to interact with people, you're going to find out that in person, when you deliver that zinger to the person you're talking to, they're not really going to appreciate it that much. And
because you're not in a TV show.
Because the goal is to get to know the person better, but the third party thinks it's funny, but the person you're saying it to may not think it's funny.
Sure, that's something to remember because some people in different countries learn English by watching television shows.
I had a professor that did that. His English was... And I will tell you there are several things that he thought I was saying that were colloquialisms where I was serious, including that I told him I was going to drop by my office.
Yeah.
He thought I was going to the bathroom.
Oh, every time?
Every time.
It's like, no, your actual office.
No, it's a room and it's a desk, chair. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, you're learning in different ways.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So you know what? I just feel like it's something that's worth thinking about because one of the things that's happened to me, I've had, I would say 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 opportunities in the last like 3 or 4 days to respond how I want to respond, how I feel like maybe I've trained myself to respond.
Even kind of how you should have been allowed to respond, but you don't need to.
And so it's really funny, actually. There's this whole idea that I hate to bring him up, but I just will, that Jesus has this idea that you return love for hate, or when someone is ugly to you, instead you're kind to them. Oh,
it's a hard one.
I am not a fan. I'm not a fan because the thing is that I feel like I have a real natural knack for coming back with something that is not only ugly, but poignant in a way that I could express myself that would be both like, it would be cutting, but it would also be like, I can't argue with that. You're telling the truth, but it would be back. And the idea is like, no. Come back with something kind. See, I'm telling you, that's where cracked.com and I get it. Pop culture is a bad teacher, and I've allowed a different teacher into my life. God wants to teach us something that is a little different than what a sitcom might be trying to teach you about life and how to interact with people. And I've spent enough time studying sitcoms. I need something else in my life. If you think it's time for a change for you, look, Jesus has been good to me. That relationship that I have with God has been good to me. I don't always get it right. In fact, sometimes I'm like, God, you don't even know. Then I do what I want, and then I'm like, oh, crap, you knew. So you can have a relationship with God simply by saying, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I need you to forgive me, and I want you to come in and show me a different way to do things. And, man, I'll tell you what, God's way is a little different than what you're going to see, maybe on YouTube, maybe on Friends for the 400th time. Oh, never mind, it's not on Netflix anymore. But you get what I'm saying, right?
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Boy, one of the biggest issues that I have, and I don't know if you struggle with this, Nikki, or maybe some of the rest of you do, but sometimes I'm just too successful.
Is it? Is it hard?
It's hard.
It's tough for him.
Sometimes I fail for winning.
Aww.
And that is exactly the problem that they had in Sri Lanka over the weekend. Nikki, did you see that they were setting a world record attempt for the most twins in one place?
I did not know this.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they choose there? What was the reason?
I don't have an answer to that as to why they decided to do this. But I'll tell you what, there sure are a lot of twins in these photos.
Did they break the record?
Well, yes and no. See, the problem they had is that too many people showed up. And as a result, they couldn't get everybody registered and counted.
Oh, so they couldn't get everybody a part of it?
That's right. So they said the crowd was too large. This happened yesterday, actually, which meant long lines and the strict rules of registration were hindered. And so Guinness has these rules in place to make it
a safe thing.
Mm-hmm. And so they had so many people show up. There were some rules where it was like you had to be there for at least 5 minutes. You had to get your photo taken and all these different things. And they just couldn't. There's too many people.
Listen, it's hard to organize and get everybody together.
Yeah.
And when it's on such a big scale, then, that won't work out.
Well, honestly, again, this is the same problem I have usually when I'm throwing a party or something. It's like I plan for 100, 150 people.
More show up.
And next thing you know, there's 1,000 people, 2,000 people, and it just ends up having to get shut down.
That's why I'm worried about your Picard pancake party you're having Thursday.
I know.
That'll really bring a lot of people out. I mean, that's scary.
I know. I'm very concerned about where it goes from here. Very concerned.
I mean, hands raised. Don't we all want to go to the Picard pancake party?
Nikki,
yes, that's everybody.
There isn't a boy there that you like. That's why you don't want to go.
I don't even like pancakes that much. I do, but I don't. So I wouldn't even want to go for that reason.
I just did a Picard facepalm.
Why? You love pancakes. I know that. And you love Picard, which is why this is perfect for you. Not everybody likes those things.
I don't even understand you.
You don't even know me.
I don't even really like pancakes. Who says that?
Not what I would choose. If it's there and it's free, it's fine. But...
Okay, you know what, Nikki? I'm not going to make you pay for a pancake.
Do I have to bring something?
I'll make you. No, you know what? I'll make you a pancake. You just come on in, have a seat. I have 100% real maple syrup from Vermont.
I don't like maple syrup. That's the bigger one. It's sticky. It's gross. It's not necessary.
It's so good.
Doesn't taste very good. Just kind of pointless.
I don't even know why we're talking right now. I don't even know why we're talking.
You be careful on Thursday with your Picard pancake party.
Because just like the twin event,
too many people are
going to show up.
Man, it's hard when the cops come every time and they close down your parties.
The cops have already called and they're like, all right.
Well, actually, they want to come.
What time do we need to be there to shut it down? And then can we stay after and watch it?
Can we have some leftover pancakes?
Yeah. You know what? I need to fail more often. That's all I'm saying.
Keeps it real.
Yeah.
Keeps it human.
Well, it's tough because when you have your finger on the pulse of what's really popular, everybody's there.
Your finger's on the pancakes.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
The coolest dentist ever just got busted.
He really got in trouble. I don't think he's a dentist anymore, is he? Or
well, I mean, we call him dentist. He has the training, just not the certification.
Oh, I thought he was. But he was an actual dentist.
No, he is. I'm saying he has the training. It's just that he no longer
has the certification anymore based on what he did.
Yeah. Here's how it starts. It started with him having a picture of himself taken, doing a tooth extraction, riding a hoverboard.
There's video, too. He's in Anchorage, Alaska. This was from July of 2016 when the hoverboard craze was really big.
Yeah. So the video ended up being used as evidence against him because, the
patient was sedated, no idea being filmed or that the dentist was on a hoverboard, and he removed a tooth by driving out the office area, and the tooth came along with it. And again, the patient had no idea. And you're not allowed to do this. So the video was sent to friends.
So that was the reckless endangerment part. That video was used as evidence against him. But then they also found out that he was scamming Medicaid. He was illegally practicing dentistry, which I don't know exactly where that charge comes from, but he's in trouble now. So part of what he was doing is that Medicaid was paying him about $2 million for sedation services, and he was doing less than they were paying for.
So he wasn't actually using all of it.
That's right. So I don't know exactly what that means, but he was doing it, like he was basically charging them for doing it one way, but he was doing it a less expensive way. And as a result, that's fraud. So he was pocketing the money, and that doesn't
That's how I
go
bought
well.
the hoverboard thing.
Well, Nikki, if you buy a responsible hoverboard that has been manufactured the right way with batteries you can trust, they're a lot more expensive.
So I don't know, did she sue him? I would be more curious about that.
I think it may have started with that, a complaint from the person who he yanked the tooth out. It's one of those things where, as far as this, my dentist yanking my tooth out, whatever, as long as he asked first, I'd probably be okay with it. Hey,
he did not.
He didn't. Odai, you're going to be out cold. Here's what we're going to do. I'd just be like, okay.
It's fine.
Do I get tagged in the video?
Make sure you include me.
Make sure I get tagged.
In case it goes viral.
You're going to post it somewhere.
It's hard because, if you look at pictures of him and where he was working at, it's got a logo. It looks legit. It looks very much like a dentist you'd probably end up going to, but there's a lot of shady stuff he was doing behind the scenes.
Well, my dentist, he's a cool dentist too. We always talk about VR every time I go in for my 6 month, the cleaning and everything. And he likes video games and I like video games and et cetera, et cetera. So I guess my concern is I'm just going to one day find out that he was like, nah, you went to a virtual dentist, bro. So, his favorite video games were Tooth Extraction 5.
I know, you didn't know you were a part of all it.
Yeah.
It's better not to find out these things about the people that you go and trust with your health.
This is why they post their diplomas on the wall. You should go in and take a real good look at them.
Oh, yeah, it might not even be what you're thinking it is.
A real good look.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, Nikki, I've done 5 nights with my weighted blanket.
Yeah.
And I think it's a winner.
You do?
Oh, man, I do.
Really helps because it's good if you don't stay still during the night.
I am. Now, it's not like I don't roll over at all.
Sure.
Et cetera, but it has greatly reduced the amount of rolling around that I do in my sleep.
Do you find, because this is something I would like it for, is I tend to wake up around 2 in the morning pretty consistently, and they say that it's you don't roll around to where you're not getting up during the night. I still wake up. I still have a somewhere between 2 and 3 a.m. wake up. I do that every single night. I couldn't tell you the last time I have slept without that taking place. That's just what happens.
But if what we believe about sleep right now is true in regards to sleep cycles and how they work, having a time like that at night that you wake up is fine. It's
so this
normal.
has been helping?
But yes, nowhere near as restless. The only thing that has started to happen is as the temperature outside has been dropping, my heat is kicking on more than it was. And as a result, my room at night is getting hot. And so it's warmer in my room. So the blanket is becoming a bit much.
Like a furnace.
And so, yeah, I kind of need to figure out how to
they say you always sleep with a fan on
it out.
And it's still hot with the fan?
Yes.
Do you need to turn the fan up higher?
No. I can't.
Can you put ice packs?
What about a window air conditioner?
You could add something else.
Anybody thought about
Like,
it?
listen, you have to make this blanket work. So what can we do?
The only thing that's weird about it, and it's probably what keeps you from rolling over so much in the night, is like last night when I did roll over, my blankets like fell off and I was like picking them up. And there's this moment of just like, what the heck? Like,
What am I
this
grabbing?
thing's heavy. And I mean, it isn't really that heavy, but compared to your blankets that are normally, light and fluffy, this thing feels like you're putting a lead blanket on to get an x-ray.
They have some weighted blankets that have cooling things built into them.
Uh-huh.
So that might be in the future if you really like it. I'm sure they're more money, but.
Right. I'll just say that I have been surprised that it really has helped. Like, not in I know what everybody says, like, well, it's just a
marketing tactic
or
a placebo.
Placebo.
That's
Thank you. It's just a placebo effect. And I don't know, maybe it is, but I just know that I wake up in the morning and normally there are pillows everywhere. My blanket's on the ground. I'm doing a headstand, like whatever. And instead I wake up, my blankets have barely moved. All my pillows are where I left them. And I am obviously sleeping. So it's an odd thing.
But worth continuing with.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. Like, just for the last couple of nights, $40 for that blanket was totally worth it.
You can find them on, like, deal of the days.
Yes.
So they tend to be on sale. It might not be the weight you think it should be because, you're supposed to go by what you actually weigh. But if you get close enough to it, it's something.
I technically need a 25-pound blanket, and I went with a 20.
It's like when shirts are on sale, they never, they're usually selling the
medium?
Yeah, they're usually selling the size there's the most of that no one actually bought.
Right.
Whereas most people, their sizes are already sold out.
So I went with it. I think I paid $42 for this blanket. It was like on sale for a day. They had a coupon.
Yay! So Jane said you should just turn your thermostat down at night when
you're
supposed to.
Well, you know what? I should, and I don't know.
Hey, listen, Jane, baby steps. All right, we got the blanket.
We're starting somewhere. I'm saying that we're still in process.
Sure, still
and
learning.
I'm still I don't even know if I'm ready to recommend getting one. I just know so far it's been working for me. I would like to know how I'm going to be doing in a month. And I'm not just being sarcastic. I mean that. What does it look like a month from now?
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on RadioU.
So, this time of year, you're up for trying all kinds of weird crap. And here's how I know that's true. Because you're like, new year, new me.
You'll try anything.
Whatever
will work.
Is it a supplement? Is it a pill?
Done,
is it
done,
a patch?
done. We'll take it all.
Is it a shot?
Is it a workout thing?
What is it? But we're now, Nikki, entering our third full week.
Yeah, you're getting close to. I mean, the gym still is more crowded than it was before Christmas, but you're kind of getting to where a lot of people, you're starting to have a few things slack off. You're not done completely with it. They usually say that's by Valentine's Day.
So here's what I found a stat over the weekend. 68% of people that started a New Year's resolution as of today are still in it.
Yeah. That's great.
That's pretty good. That's
still in the game.
That's more than half. Mm-hmm. Okay, but they say by the time you hit Valentine's Day, that number drops to between some things I read said as low as 12%.
Ooh.
Some said as high as 20.
Okay, yeah, but a lot less.
But that means 48% of y'all are
still doing it
on the fence. So you got to ask yourself, what is it going to take to keep going? I'm going to give you 2 tips. One, you find 1 or 2 people, not everybody, but you find 1 or 2 people and you just go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I need a little accountability. Don't put it on Facebook. Don't put it on Snapchat.
Some say the other, but that'll leave so much pressure. If you start telling everybody that like across social media world, then when you can't keep it up, then you give up.
Here's what I think. I think when you say to a big group of people, hey guys, I'm doing this, and everybody's like, yay! And then when you stop, you're like, all right guys, I quit. And they're like, we knew it.
And then it hurts.
But I'll tell you what, if you have 1 or 2 people, those would be the kind of people that will look you in the eye and be like, shut up and get back at it.
In a loving way.
Right. But that's what real accountability feels like. Real accountability is uncomfortable and it makes you mad. That's what real accountability is.
And that's real friendship.
It is. That's what an actual friendship looks like. A big group of people on social media will just be like, ha ha. One or two people, they'll be like, stop with the excuses.
And then just go back to it.
And get back to it.
What's the second one?
Well, the second one is to remember that failing is part of succeeding. And that sounds like motivational nonsense, right? But no, when you are breaking a habit, there is a good chance that in the midst of breaking that habit, you probably are going to make a mistake and do it or whatever again. And that is like the key moment when you make the mistake is, what do you do after that? And the answer is you just brush yourself off and go back to doing the new thing and leaving the old thing behind. Otherwise, you go, you know how it is. You go to your social media like, and everybody's like,
how do you type that out?
You know what I mean.
I know. It's just how it goes.
And so sometimes, tripping is part of
Hey, all right. So everybody grab your waters because we're hydrating. Okay.
My water bottle's empty.
All
I need to
right.
go fill it.
Yes, because you drank it because you're succeeding.
I'm succeeding.
And just take a drink and you're going to be fine.
Come on. You guys can do this. You are not going to be part of that 48%.
No way.
You're going to be in that 12 to 20%, guys.
You've made a life change.
That's right.
You can't go back on that.
That's exactly right.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Have you thought about where you're going to live next month, next year? Have you got dreams? Have you thought about living in an abandoned missile silo?
Oh, just everybody really wants to.
I know we've talked about this before, but...
There are actually some that are kind of interesting, but it'd be kind of weird.
There's a couple in Kansas that has just listed their missile silo.
Their silo. And I have a feeling you're not near any big major cities at that point.
That's a good question.
Like, I think you're out in the fields. So you're far away.
It's mostly underground, though, of course, there's some underground. And did I mention that they've renovated it to make it look like a castle?
Really?
Yeah.
No? Did they have pictures?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you the pictures, but right now I want you to know that your imagination is
not doing
better
it than what it is?
Than what you're going to see when you see their castle.
How much are they selling it for?
Well, how many million do you have laying around right now?
Whoa, 3.2 million.
3.2 million. Now, it's 18,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And remember, it's designed to withstand a nuclear blast. So,
it is bad looking.
If things go south, you're in pretty good shape there, guys.
Well, I'm looking at is that a turret or what is that thing where?
The round thing. It's not a turret. It's not a rotunda.
Top to it. It's something like that. It looks like they made it. It was a DIY castle. And I don't know if it looks amazing.
Maybe it is a turret.
I think.
Is that what? Yeah, that is what it is. Yeah, okay. I thought it had a different name, but you're right. Look, let's call it a turret. It's got one of those.
I'd love to live near this thing. You're like, what is that thing? What are they doing there?
Don't worry about it. It's nice.
So you could, inside is just as rustic. Yes, it is.
That's what I feel like. The inside is a little like...
That is a lot. They got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of things on the wall.
Yeah.
Probably to make them feel not so sad that they're underground.
I don't know. Some people probably like it. If I didn't have this whole seasonal affective disorder thing, I'd be like, heck yeah, dude.
Go underground.
You'd have the best home theater ever. You don't have to worry about bothering the neighbors.
You have to find someone else who has just as much passion for this sort of lifestyle and home living, and who also has $3.2 million to spend.
You have to wonder how the Wi-Fi does down there.
Good call on that. Do you get everything?
How do they have a pot belly stove down there? What do you?
That's just how they get heat.
I guess you got a heck of a.
It's a different world than ours.
Oh gosh.
They have a hot tub. They do. They have solar panels. They've got it all.
They do. Have you seen the bedroom?
I did. What's with all the pink things?
I don't know. Wait. Oh, well, their above ground space is nice too, though.
I think so. So 18,000 square feet, that's a lot. That might be more than we need.
I don't know. Oh, yep. Look, there is. They do have a hot tub. It's nice.
Looks pretty good.
I mean, You know what, Nikki? Theirs might even be hot.
Maybe. I don't want this one.
You don't want this one?
I don't want to live in a silo.
Yeah. Okay.
They need to get like HGTV and get them in to make a show out of it, like they did with the Brady Bunch house.
So, like, renovate this silo?
Pretty much, like, make a series. It's the only way they're going to get some money out of it.
I feel like they have the kind of people that are going to be interested in the silo.
Wait, it's silo or sino? Like you're selling it or keeping your silo? They come in and redo it.
Shut up.
Yeah, because they have that show where you're like, if you want to list it or keep it. They just needed to redo a little, and then they're happy there.
It's perfect.
Isn't it?
Nikki.
Someone let these poor people know that might work out for them.
You win.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
Radio U.
You know, you get a little tired of hearing about Harry and Meghan.
Can we please stop hearing about it?
You might not hear about it, but Nikki and I hear about it all the time.
It's all the news that is pushed at us.
It's so much.
It's driving everyone crazy.
It's like Kardashian level.
Oh, it's even another level.
It might be past that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's completely past that.
Now, the whole news is, if you don't know, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who married him, she was an actress from the United States. They have decided to quit, quote unquote, the royal family. They've moved to Canada. And
let's go to Canada.
Let's leave today.
Canada, oh, Canada. Where is that song at? I don't think we still have it.
If you want it, I'll find it for you.
Okay.
Don't worry. So it's one of those things where they're like, you should feel sorry for us because it's really hard to be royal. There's all this attention. There's all this stuff you have to do and all this kind of stuff. And it sounds just heartbreaking. I struggle every day.
I know when you hear about it.
But I'll tell you what, it can't be all bad because I'm looking here at the Danish royal couple. Have you heard of Crown Prince Frederik and Princess Mary of Denmark?
What's with that?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is so great. Nobody knows about it, but for reasons that are too boring to discuss, people have just found out that they own a ski chalet in Switzerland. But they're going to be staying there for the next 12 weeks.
Doesn't that sound fun? A chalet?
Next
it's wonderful.
12 weeks. They say
like for their vacation?
I guess.
For their break?
I guess.
Who's getting these breaks? Why are they getting these paid breaks?
Nikki, it's hard to be royal.
What was and I'm sure there are troubles that come along with every job, just like when you're famous.
You know what? Every job has its thing.
The one person, they were covering the Meghan Harry thing, and it said, what did it say? They had like 200 engagements that they had to do in 1 year. And people were like, that's it? Everybody works way more than that.
Let's see, Nikki, how many shows do we do? Let's say we take 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So that's 50 weeks a year times 5 shows. That's 250 shows a year.
Just that. And these are engagements where I bet they're getting food and paid and all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's a thing.
I don't know. It's different.
That's
a different
a thing.
world.
All right. Well, as I said.
Don't look at that stuff. You're just going to be sad.
Oh, you know what, Nikki? I don't envy them because it's so hard to be royal. I mean, even if you do get 12 weeks, 3 months at a ski chalet,
it's too much.
I wouldn't want to have to live that life. Right?
Right. Just click out of that. Don't look at pictures.
Just makes me thankful to drive myself in every morning before the sun gets up.
Because you got yourself up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made your own breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't eat anything. What are you talking about?
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
New year, new me, same crap, right? So check this. Remember I told you guys that I got a weighted blanket because this is the time of year when we'll try anything? I did that.
Yeah.
I did something else this weekend. To say I've always wanted to do it would mean like 2-year-old me was walking around trying to talk and express a desire. That's a lie. But there was someone at one point that said something to me, and it's always been floating in the back of my mind. And this weekend, I finally made it happen.
What'd you try?
Cashew butter.
You did.
No, it gets better.
It's decadent.
I made it.
Did you?
I bought a thing of cashews.
Round it up?
Mm-hmm. And you just add some oil and you mix it up and you got cashew butter.
Dude, next step is the cashew milk train. And once you're all aboard, there's no getting off it.
I'll just tell you right now, cashew butter, cashews are it's like peanut butter, any kind of nut. It's full of fat, but it's got protein.
It's a good fat, yeah.
So I don't know how good the fat is, but I can tell you this: I'm fatter today.
Did you try it on toast?
Oh, I ate it on everything. I had I don't know how many times I had toast yesterday, and then on top of that, I was I'm dipping crackers, and yes, I dipped a carrot in there, so I could say I did, et cetera, et cetera. But when I was done, I was like, I think I've really had a lot of this.
It's so good.
So good.
It feels like, and even with peanut butter and almond butter and all the nut butters, it can't be an everyday thing, but it's so good.
It should be.
Are you going to switch from almond butter to it?
I don't think so. It's the nice thing. The reason I eat almond butter a lot is because I can pick it up at Costco and it's easy. And with Nikki's put the jar upside down trick, it's become
the oil doesn't then stay at the top.
Yeah, it has become a go-to work snack for me. So often when the show is over, I eat almond butter.
You're not going to be in the break room making your own cashew butter?
No, but it was way easier than I thought it would be to make it yourself, and I couldn't believe how good it was.
Sure, you can go to Whole Foods and stuff and just make it from the machine if you don't want to do it at home.
I don't know why or how or what. New year, new me. I'm trying stuff that I have no business trying. What are you doing? Who's
Who's doing this at home on the weekend?
It's a weekend in January, and I'm like, this is it. I'm finally doing it. I'm making cashew butter.
Cashew butter, napping all weekend with your weighted blanket. I don't even know you anymore.
You don't.
It's just different.
You don't.
So Angela Texas said, cashews are actually a fruit.
Great. Well, I just had a ton of fruit.
You ate nothing but fruit.
So much fruit, you don't even know.
Fruit on the toast, fruit on everything.
It was so
yay.
good.
Cashew milk, for me, it's good. It has more calories than if you get almond milk. But it is smooth.
Well, that's how I would describe that butter. Mm-hmm. The cashew butter was smooth, and there was a sweetness to it. So creamy.
So creamy.
So creamy. Why is it so creamy?
I don't know.
I was just man, I could just sit down with a spoon and eat this like it's soup.
Put a little jelly in it.
What? No, don't need it. It has everything you need.
It has its own.
It has everything
you need. All right.
need.
Well, if anybody else tries it, he likes it. It's good.
It was good.
You're so funny. You finally did it.
I did. Man, I'll tell you what, guys, sky's the limit now.
What's next? What is there left for you to do?
Who knows where we're headed from here?
I know where we're headed. We're eating too much of the cashew butter.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
Nisney, Nikki?
Is that me? Gay? Is it me and Disney put together?
Nikki, once Disney buys you, that's going to be your new name.
There
Nisney.
it is. I'll be a new...
Should be a Disney princess.
It'll be a new header on Disney Plus, and then it's all my favorite movies underneath there.
Disney. It's everybody's favorite brand.
It's not a bad nickname. It's fine.
Disney? Hey, Nikki.
Yeah, what about Disney?
Nikki, Disney bought Fox.
Yeah.
You knew that, right? So, in the middle of all this, they just made a little announcement. Fox isn't Fox anymore.
They don't want that.
No, Fox, please. What? No, we're not doing that.
Is it in Century or Studios or something?
It used to be 20th Century Fox, and now it's just 20th Century. That's it.
So I wonder why.
And it used to be Fox Searchlight.
Yeah.
And now it's just Searchlight.
So do they want no connection with Fox News, not in a political way, but just what's the taking away of the Fox part?
I don't think that they...
Was that part of the deal, or?
I think it just comes down to they just own it. So it's hey, this is...
Are they owning it, or own it?
You gotta own that. You gotta own that, man.
How are they
You're
doing
gonna put
that
out there. You gotta own it.
I don't know what they're doing.
No. They say that it's
just it is.
It just is. So
Then
no more Fox. Just
I thought it'd
20th
be like
century.
it's Disney 20th century, or it's
20th
Disney.
century Disney?
Yeah, something where they put their name in it.
I don't know. My guess would be what they're going to do is what they did with Touchstone Pictures a long time ago. And since none of you know what that is, I'll tell you. Disney either bought or created Touchstone Pictures, and it was their way to make, quote unquote, more adult fare without being associated with the Disney brand.
Sure.
And so my guess would be that 20th Century will probably continue to release films that are not what they would be super comfortable putting on the Disney moniker. But
or as
they
things
also
progress, maybe then they just keep shortening the name and eventually it folds in.
Yeah. Well, because in the future, everything's Disney.
Yeah. You don't even need to say Disney. It just is.
It's just the company.
Yeah, the leader.
Right. That's how it works.
Yeah, leader plus.
Right. They just eventually buy everything, and then pretty soon you're like, look, it's a 21st century Disney.
Yeah, well, that'll be coming later. I mean, I haven't given over the rights to that.
I'm sorry that I, may have skipped ahead a little bit, but
you can't share the plan yet. You gotta wait.
I've seen the plan, so I know about it. It's hard to forget.
He's seen the future.
Oh, I have.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Listen, I don't want anybody to make this weird, but all I'm looking for is the love and care that you offer an obese cat.
They really rally together to help, right? You just want that support?
An animal gets fat and the whole community gets involved. Everybody's like, what
can they do to help? Free help, like a free workout thing. They're walking it in the water treadmill.
I'm looking at Bazooka here. Bazooka's 35 pounds and has put on too much weight because their owner had dementia and kept feeding it because they thought they had forgotten to feed it.
Oh, that's too bad.
So, I mean, there's
we're not. We know what we're doing.
There's a tragic story there. I get it. But Bazooka gets brought in, and now it's like 2 or 3 people's job to see that Bazooka gets taken care of and properly fed and all this kind of stuff.
Why can't you live like Bazooka?
I put on 35 pounds, and everybody's like, you disgusting fat body. Look at you, you slob.
It's all the cashew butter.
There's no rally. There's nobody that's like, we have a fat sanctuary set up just
You're nowhere near big enough. You're nowhere near big enough.
So
nowhere
you're saying
near. You're too small. Yeah, you're too small. You're not getting a TV show. You're not getting a rally. You're not getting anything.
I'm just too average fat.
You're just average.
I need to be exceptional fat.
Pretty much.
Dang it.
Just like for the cat, this cat is exceptionally fat.
He is. And he's a cat. Like
he can't help it.
Like, you know what? Like, you'll eat a cow, but a cat, you're like, okay, stop everything. This poor tabby. This poor tabby. I mean,
so they're working with Bazooka?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
To bring the weight down?
Yeah. Bazooka went to the Wake County Society for the Prevention of Cruelty in North Carolina and whatever. And I'm just like, look, okay, I need me and my assistant. That's you, Nikki. We're going to need a couple of weeks at a spa so that we can
detox. Our new us.
We need a detox. We need special dietary concerns. I need a team of people concerned about me.
Team of specialists
that are working on me. Every time I get even the slightest, like where maybe in my back, like, oh, it's a little tense. There's like 3 people waiting. They're like, all right, we're working it out. We're massaging his back.
You're not going to get it. You're not a cat. You're not a poor, defenseless cat.
Let's bring in the warm stones to lay on his back so the heat can just radiate into the muscles.
No, it's not. You go and get your own food. You're fully capable. This cat is not.
All I'm asking is for somebody to treat me with the love and respect that these fat cats are getting.
I feel like that should be in your Twitter bio.
Fat cat looking for a home.
Something like that.
Obese kitty looking for love.
It's obese cat. Like, it's way past that.
Yeah.
These poor cats.
Yeah, you're right. Because, like, we're not talking about overweight. We're in obese.
Husky.
But you know what?
We're not talking about any of that.
I'll tell you what. I'm obese. So, like...
You're OB.
Obesadiah. You know, like I'm
and
in
that's
there.
because the chart's wrong, and you're not.
Well, it's fine.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it's going to change. That's not how our world's going to be. You're going to have to do it all without that support.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I figured that's what you were going to say, but I'm just an obese cat looking for a shelter. That's all I am. Don't make it weird. It's just real, okay?
Sounds weird to me.
That's some real talk from my heart today.
Right there.
My clogged up heart.
Only thing I could suggest
It's
is if
pumping
you
cashew butter right
if
now.
you happen to like a personal trainer just has pity on you, and that's about it.
No, because they're going to be mean. This
Yeah,
fat cat, they're not being mean to this cat. They're just like, feel better, kitty. Feel better. Oh, you know, here, let me rub this paw for a while. Oh, don't you just feel the toxins releasing?
I am glad the cat's getting help. Because, again, it's not the cat's fault.
It's not.
And it's not
It's
your
not my fault either.
It's not your fault.
It's not my fault I'm like this. Somebody help me.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Like some kind of poop monster is going to hunt you down and kill you.